What is going on, guys? TrueChamps Static here with your Spice Cabinet for our 6/28 Tuesday night event. So let's go ahead and get into this breakdown, guys, shall we? Alrighty, guys. So here is our breakdown for last night. Um, this was our first EX2 event, so a couple new things to go over here. Most popular was Imperial. It's still a strong deck. It's really good against D-Reaper. It can just outspeed them. Pile Dramon actually has built-in removal that can affect them, and Fighter Mode is just really, really good into Gatekeeper. It's free removal for it, basically. Next up was the new kid on the block, Yellow D-Reaper. Super popular deck. You're going to see it almost any event you play in, guaranteed. Um, then we had a couple Gallantmon players, a couple Yellow Hybrid players, some Masty, some Blackboard Greymon, a Setcon, a Bond of Friendship Hybrid, a Cherubimon, two different Sakuyamon builds, a Shivamon, a Beelstar deck, and a Black War Greymon mixed Gallantmon deck. So good variety overall for 24 players. Or I think 20. We might have yeah 24. Um, so yeah, tons of good stuff going on here. And then let's get into these decks for you. Bam. All right. There we go. Wrong tab. All right. So this was first place. This was Imperial, piloted by David Lee. Super good player, long time playing in our events, and lots of good stuff going on here. So, um, noticeably only one fighter mode that kind of stuck out to me. We won't go too deep into this one, but is going up on the boost to just up that consistency, as well as 8 searchers. So lots of consistency going on in this list. Also playing the one of Mimi. Like I said, I think this card is really just great, giving you 4 memory setters just to keep you starting at 3 every turn is really good. No Chimeramon in this list. Chimeramon is really good into Dia Reaper, as they can, as you can just neg out their whole board on your turn. Next up, our first Dia Reaper deck. So these are fairly cut and dry, and probably will stay fairly cut and dry going forward. The only cards that are really ever going to change, potentially, are the Tamers and the color, and then the amount of creep hands and the amount of Pilates head or Pallades head. Um, so if we haven't seen this deck before, Mother Deer Reaper is your egg. Um, every once a turn, you can put one Searcher from your hand or in play under it. Then it'll give that inherited plus 1,000 to all your Deer Reapers on your turn, and once per turn you can reduce the next Deer Reaper you play's cost by the amount of sources it has. So you can turbo out these really big things like mid-game gatekeepers for 5 or 6, just only putting your opponent to 3. Um, recover once you have 6 gatekeepers. Your big, well, aptly named card, giving all your opponents Digimon security attack -1, so they have to remove it before they can swing the game, or have extra checks to be able to get there. Reaper is your finisher. You just once you have 7 sources, you can play it for absolutely free, and then swing, or it has rush, so you can attack, swing, and then it has the effect of putting 2 searchers from your trash underneath it as sources to unsuspend it. So you just keep going and it keeps getting bigger. Pilates head just taps to delete a guy with less DP than it. Really good with the stacking effect from the searcher inheritables. Creep hands is a blocker. Jerry lets you dig for 5, or dig 5 deep to put a searcher below the Mother Reaper. Bubbles lets you play a Reaper from hand or play into or put it under the Mother. And then Pendulum Feet's just your searcher. Searcher, just a 1-cost draw card if you don't have another one in play. Now the thing about these decks is they can splash different colors. Yellow allows them to play Spiral, which is really good removal. You have a Digimon that can't be interacted with, and then a whole bunch of little guys, and you can always, if you have the memory, play one of these guys for 1 to up it. So you basically pseudo always have at least 2 Digimon for Spiral. So it's really good in this deck. Other colors you'll see will be black. They'll play, Ultimate Flare, Iron Fisted Onslaught. So really good options from there. And then occasionally red, seeing Gaia Force, Fireball, a delicate plan for the Reaper so that it doesn't die on the turn you go in. So there's lots of options when building this deck. But pretty much everything in here, minus these two cards and the Tamer slash Color, they're going to be the same almost every time you see the deck. Next up, we have a Beelstarmon list. As a Beelstarmon player, I was super excited to see that, but this list kind of feels all over the place to me, if I'm being completely honest with you. Um, so, in my opinion, for this format, and I have yet to test it, so I could just be going nuts here. My idea for Beelstar was to get low to the ground as we could. So I was just going to, go for Eismon, Doberman, kind of thing. But like I said, our rookies are really like there's Gazimon, there's Gabumon, there's no Psychmon, which is yes, it's hard or you can't play Beelstar through it, but you can pop it as well as you could just swing it into a guy or into security to get it dead, and it gives you a much better matchup versus D-Reaper because they can't turbo out those expensive cards to stop you. Um, but yeah, no, so Gazimon didn't necessarily seem like the right rookie to me. Like obviously you still want it in the deck. Um, yeah, Elecmon, armor is going way down, so I don't really see a need to play it. The Dracmon's still fine for the returning 1-0s. Your level 4 lineup, pretty great. About the same. You do get Doberman, which is a huge addition to the deck. Just letting you mill 3, getting back a Digimon, buying back a Beelstar, just for, while you're attacking. Or, calling from the darkness to pick some things up. Really fantastic addition to the deck. Obviously for Beelstarmons, one Zwart as well as 2 defeat. The one Zwart seems kind of spicy, just giving you a bigger board state to maybe go for game or something the next turn. And then to our 7 cost options, we have to change these around a little bit. Gawalt Schwarmer is fantastic against D-Reaper, kills almost everything in play. Trump Sword, back as a 1-of, really good at killing the Reaper itself. Fly Bullet loses a little bit of value versus D-Reaper, which you do have to account for. Fly Bullet's great in every other matchup, but you still have to account for the fact that you are going to see lots of Reaper. It's a budget deck, it's just powerful. It's got a really, really low skill floor, so you can get into the deck and learn it easy enough. Then 2 Nailbone and 3 Happy Bullet, because this one does really work with the D-Reaper removal. Level-based removal doesn't work as none of the D-Reapers have levels. I forgot to mention that earlier. So Happy Bullet, really good card right now. And then the 2 Nailbone, pretty standard there. Accessory ones, we have 1 Darkness Wave, a Calling from the Darkness, and a Deathclaw, as well as 3 Miss Memory Boost. And then for Tamers, rounding it out, 1 Mat, 1 starter deck mat, which if you don't know, when one of your dudes are deleted on your turn, you can suspend it to gain a memory, and then the analog. So a little scattered. I'd kind of like to refine a little bit to get more consistency. When you're milling and discarding cards, you do kind of sacrifice a small bit of consistency, but at the same time, you have cards that you want to see. So I think I'd like to see this just kind of trimmed up a little bit more. And then finally, our last one was another Yellow Reaper list. This one including Tactical Retreat. The Tactical Retreat play with Gatekeeper is really strong if it pops out of security and recovers. You can just put it right back on top so you get a free check and, save yourself a life if you need to. So we won't really talk more about this one. But yeah, that was our decks for the event, guys. It was a really good event. Reaper actually, there was only three Reaper players. Yeah, 3 Reaper players, and I believe they took 2nd, 4th, and 5th, if I'm not. Yeah, 2nd, 4th, and then 5th was the other one. So the deck really puts in work. It's really strong. If you haven't tried it, definitely at least give it a try, putting in your testing gauntlet, whatever you need to do. But that is all for me, guys. We'll see you next time.